always difficult to present in front of your friends, So since last 2 days, I've been, seeing how complex the security environment is getting. And during the next 10 to 15 minutes, the whole effort I'm going to put in is to make sure that we are bringing some simplicity and simplifying this whole puzzle of security. So my name is Jyoti Prakash. I lead the cybersecurity business for Google. So let's kick in. So for very long, we have been living with this notion that effective security is not based on the security controls deployed. And we have a strong belief that, by having a very strong security controls, the problems can be fixed. But what we have realized that you also need to have an expertise and intelligence behind them. For an example, the old CVEs, which we have known for so many years, still have the capability to bring your network down. Typical example could be, I can't think of a better example than SolarWind, where more than 18,000 organizations just downloaded a malicious code in spite of having such a strong security control. I think those are very basic and fundamental things where the information was already there for years, but we didn't manage to bring the right kind of attention to those kinds of information, and that's where we couldn't, detect the threat at the right time. So are we ready to, first of all, understand what is the landscape you are working on? So do we know who is going to target us? Is there any specific threat vector which is targeting your vertical specifically? Is there any specific malware that is targeted to your setup only? So how can we gain an additional visibility? What are the tools that we have deployed and how well the whole policy framework has been implemented so that we could get the information of all the adversaries at the right time? Knowing your attack surface is also very important because those are the weak entry points, internet facing, from where the adversaries can enter into your infrastructure. So identify the attack surface. The larger the attack surface is going to be for you, it will become very difficult for you to manage. So can you make sure that we can kind of restrict the whole scenario of attack surface? Periodically, you'll have to keep on testing your security controls, how effective those controls are, because that will give you much better visibility, whether you are proactively in a position to identify the threats, detect it at the right time, and then prevent it by, bringing your system down. And the fifth piece I would say is know if you are being attacked or not. Now here, the SEC operation plays a very important role. Now the challenge that we are facing for so long, that we talk about enterprise class, security posture, but somewhere the whole interaction has been silo-based. The cloud security is taken in a different silo, SecOps is considered as a different silo, and at the time when the crisis hits, in terms of bringing the expertise for incident response, you take care of somebody else, and that's where a separate team gets involved. So can we kind of bring a synergy where the convergence of all these three can happen? Because if you have a tool, and if that tool is giving you visibility only up to the extent of your SEC operation, and not giving you the visibility of what's happening at the cloud instance, then the whole solution is broken. And that's where we need to bring much more focus so that we could simplify the complete posture within your organization. And the fifth piece is more from augmentation perspective. We have been talking about AI capabilities for quite long. During our school time, we know when we used to define mean, median, mode, the data need to be very symmetric, right? It's a very, very simple mathematical term. If your data is not right, if the quality of data is not right, the AI is not going to give you the right outcome. And Matan, very clearly mentioned during the course of previous discussion, and even Vinay also touched upon that AI, we have been talking about AI for quite long, but do we have the right quality of data to give you the right model so that when you run the query, the AI should give you the right outcome? As an industry, we have been debating that, when is going to be the right time to see the true value of AI? I think adoption is there, but to appreciate the true value, I don't think we have still in a position to really pinpoint and say that these are the 5 objectives that you are able to see. We know that those are the 5 or 10 objectives you can achieve. Those are the right use cases that you can, deliver using AI. But again, the challenge is of the data quality. And it takes time. You cannot have an AI capability built in your infrastructure without having a right data model, right quality of the data, and expect miracle to happen. It's not going to happen. Google has been pioneer in building AI at each and every product lines that we have. But again, we keep on enforcing the fact that please make sure that the quality of data is right to get the right outcome from the AI. AI is amazing, but if it's only and only if you're using it in a right way. So how are we going to simplify the security? You know, we have been talking for the last 2 days, and we know how complex this whole environment is going to be. But I will share a few of the data, what the change that we have seen in the last 10 years. I think basic and the fundamental problems remain same. The breach is happening because of the known CVEs. The breaches are happening because you have not logged in the right logs. In spite of that logs you would have, ingested at the right time. The challenge is happening because you are not able to run the right query in the right data set. So these are very basic problem. And most of the incidents that we have witnessed in the last 2.5 years, being maintained as the front runner, these are very basic problem which kind of missed out. There is no rocket science which came into, creating these kind of incidents in large organizations. So let's try to simplify this. Now, frontline threat intelligence and expertise, it will give you capability at the time of incidents. It will help you prepare before, during, and post incidents as well. Now, how it happens? Because of the threat intel that we gather, and when I'm saying threat intel, imagine the kind of visibility we gather from each and every tool of Google. The planet scale of data visibility that we have, since we are monitoring the maximum data on this planet, we are witnessing the biggest malwares, we are witnessing the biggest threats which can evolve. And from those end users, it can also impact your enterprise. So those are the intelligence which are very, very critical. And as a process, as Google team, we are trying to bring that intelligence so that you could use it in your enterprise environment, so that you are in a much better position to identify those threats at the right time. Second is the intel-driven modern security operation. Now here again, the convergence is the key. If you have a data set which is just 3 months old, and if you're running all the queries, all the threads within that data set of 3 months, your visibility will be very, very limited. Can't you have a 12 months of a log retention sitting in an active mode where you can run your sec operation, match whatever the IOCs are there, whatever the threat intels are there, and that will give you much better visibility. You'll be in a much better position to identify if there has been any lateral movement in the last 12 months or not. We can do that as a hyperscaler because cost of running that infrastructure and compute is much less. And we strongly believe that this is going to give additional benefit to all our customers. Secondly, the unification of automation, AI, which comes as a part of a platform. So at the time when the architecture you are designing for your organization, make sure that automation is being incorporated in design. Don't take automation to be taken care and take a center stage after 6 months or 8 months when your log ingestion is already done. That is not going to give you the right outcome, and that is something we have been doing for quite long. If you don't change the approach, the result will be same. And the third piece is the secure cloud platform. Again, as I said, the convergence of cloud and SecOps is very, very important. Today, I don't see that convergence is really happening. A lot of collaboration is there, but again, it is again a siloed approach. Unless you bring the visibility in terms of how you're consuming the workload, what are the posture management, what are the CNAP solutions that we have, and not only in terms of monitoring, but also making sure that you are creating enough tools and capabilities to detect and prevent at the right time, and start building those models so that you can create this automated action to be taken. And that convergence with sec operation is going to simplify your life. I've just taken an example of 10 cloud products with over, all these products that we have. We have got more than 1 billion users each. And 2/3 of, planet uses Google. Now, this is a very important data point to understand. Just imagine the kind of visibility we have. Now, imagine if you can pull out all those information and package it in a way and share that with all the enterprise customers that we have. You will have the visibility of each and every threat which is available in the industry. Secondly, everybody uses Google search, right? We know when we set a query how fast the result comes in. So imagine that capability if we can bring in and bring it into your sec operation platform. When you run a query with a 12 months of data, the result will be very, very fast. A lot of challenges we have seen operationally, in spite of having the right information, still when you run a query, it doesn't give you the right outcome, it doesn't give you the right result with a wide speed. I think pulling out those capabilities from Google search and just embedding the right enrichment with the visibility that we have around all the top 10 plus product that we have from Google, that's the capability we are talking about, and that's the power we are saying that this is the power we are going to incorporate and give you as a part of our security portfolio. So we have kind of created a converged story where we are saying that converge modern sec operation with holistic cloud risk management and empower with frontline intelligence expertise. Now the green portion of frontline expertise I want to touch upon first, because this is where the edge comes in from Mandian expertise. And I'm sure Mandian capabilities need no introduction or no additional evidence for me to build the credibility for that. Even in India, we run more than close to 500 incidents in a year. And these are very critical incidents. When a breach happens, they call up and we enter into the forensic. We do those incident response, we do red teaming exercise. And then we realize that most of the breaches that has happened, and that's the reason I'm sharing this live information based on our experience. We have been talking about all those cutting edge threats. But all these incidents that has happened because of misconfiguration in cloud instance. Maybe, there has been a compromisation that has happened in terms of identity that you have. AD has been compromised. These are very, very basic things which has happened. And if you keep it simple, and most of the problem that you have been facing, you'll be able to address that. Second is, what is the additional intelligence that you are gathering? We talk about threat intel. And most of the sec operation that I've seen, people have subscribed to only one threat intel or two threat intel. And you are quite confident that threat feeds are coming in, so it's good enough for you to, make the complete sec operation, better and efficient. Here we are seeing that we talk about Google Threat Intel, which is a combination of VirusTotal. It's a combination of Mandiant Threat Intel, and the threat intel that we gathered from all the Google tools that I've shared with you. So imagine the comprehensiveness of the intel that we can bring in. So with the combination of Mandiant expertise and the threat intel from Google, the frontline intelligence and expertise will help you not only protect against the incidents during the course of incidents, but also at the time when you see some anomaly in your setup. Modern security operation, again, the convergence has already happened. Here we are talking about a platform and planet scale data storage, 12 months of log retention, SOAR unlimited license. We strongly believe that SOAR is something it has to come as a part of your solution rather than taking it at a next stage. So that's a combination we are talking about. So I'll quickly run upon what has changed in the last 10 years. You'll see that on infrastructure side, I restrict collection to only restricted alerts and all. The timing is really critical, It's really disturbed me. So let's move fast in that case. How do I trust a cloud provider for cloud security? These are very basic questions that you will ask in terms when you want to move your sec operation to cloud. I think with Google, more or less, the GCP, and the data says it very, very clearly. The vulnerabilities that we have seen in GCP is almost 70% less than the two major players in the market. I think those data are available in the industry. You can go through those reports and you can have a look at it. Context and enrichment, you can ingest whatever you want. I'm talking about petabytes of data. As I said, we are hyperscaler, so there is no restriction on that. I think I need to stop now. So anyways, I think messaging in terms of convergence is what I wanted to bring forward to all of you, and that's where the benefit comes in. So with that, I will respectfully go out of the stage. Thanks for ringing in twice. Thank you.